Hi there, it's Chiyu here from iHeartUmami.com. Welcome to my Paleo cooking channel. This week, I want to share with you a very tasty soup that reminds me of Vietnamese pho and in a much quicker and faster way to put together. I call it my tomato beef soup. Oh, and before I forget to mention it, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel below, where I'll be sharing new Asian-inspired paleo recipes here every Thursday. So without further ado, let's start. Let's quickly walk over our ingredient lists. So I have about 3/4 to 1 pound of beef sirloin here. And since we're going to actually slice them to paper thin, so I previously have popped them in the freezer, for about 30 minutes, so it will be easier, slightly firmer, easier for me to thin slice them. And for the aromatics, we have about 4 teaspoons of crushed garlic, about 1.5 teaspoons of grated ginger, and 3 thin slices of fresh ginger. And about 2 to 3 scallion, and then we separate the white parts and the green parts. In a lot of Chinese or Asian cuisine, if you're going to sauté scallions, we usually use the white part of the scallion, and the green part is more delicate, so we usually use that for garnish. And I have, you can see, 1 lemon zest and a half lime zest here. And the reason I use lime and lemon zest is because I want to show my reader that if you can find lemongrass in your local grocery store, this is a good way to substitute. So in general, I found that a closest combination to replace lemongrass would be a combination of lime zest, lemon zest, and some grated ginger. Alright, so since it's a tomato beef soup, I have one about medium-sized tomato here, and we are going to need about 6 cups of beef broth. And to season our broth, I have coconut aminos. This is aged coconut stuff. It's a soy sauce substitute. And also our Red Bull fish sauce, and just a few teaspoons of organic rice vinegar. So now a lot of people ask me, where do I find my organic rice vinegar? You can find it online or in your local grocery store, but just be very careful when you select them. You want to read the label and ingredients, and for example, like this one contains only rice vinegar and water. And then if you look at the nutrition facts, it says the sugar content is 0 grams. Okay, so you need to be careful about that, because a lot of the time they use corn syrup as a quick way to produce rice vinegar. And just a little bit black pepper. And to saute our aromatics, I'm going to use coconut oil. And we're also going to quickly marinate our beef, so I'm just going to use extra virgin olive oil. So now let's thin slice the beef. I have previously, as I mentioned, popped them in a freezer for about 30 minutes, so the texture is slightly firmer, so it will be easier for us to slice. So you want to slice them to paper thin. Very, very thin, as thin as you can. Think of, sashimi, but even thinner than sashimi, okay? And the reason we want to slice them to paper thin is because, have you had Vietnamese pho, and the beef is almost like, halfway cooked, about, medium rare, so it's halfway cooked through, the other way is not. So we are trying to imitate that texture. So that's the reason we're going to actually, you will see in the final step, we're gonna cook them very, very quickly. So you need them as thin as possible. Now I have a thin slice of beef. You can see they are paper thin. And I'm going to marinate them since I'm going to cook them right away. By the way, if you are doing this for your meal prep, In other words, you are not actually going to drink the soup right away. My recommendation would be you can just, leave the beef. Don't marinate them first until you are ready to enjoy them. So I would just put them back to your container and then store them in an ice cold fridge. Okay, so you want to wait until when you are ready to eat and marinate them, probably about 15 minutes. So for about 3/4 to almost a pound of beef sirloin here, I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of crushed garlic and just a little bit of black pepper, about 1/4 teaspoon fresh ground black pepper, and about 2 teaspoons of red boiled fish sauce. Since the fish sauce is pretty salty already, so we're not going to use any salt, okay? And just to help us, to bind everything together, I'm going to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, also about 2 teaspoons, and just mix them well. You can sear them in a clear wrap and then put them in the fridge. In the meantime, we are going to prepare our beautiful tomato broth. Now let's put our soup together. So I'm going to heat this very hot satay pan, about 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and we're going to quickly saute our aromatics. So you can see there's a little bit light smoke here. It's really hot here. You want to wait until your oil is really hot before you put the aromatics, okay? So we are going to put the remaining 2 teaspoons of garlic, the crushed garlic, and the white part of our scallion, and our grated ginger, and also 3 thin slices of ginger root. And just give it a quick stir. You want to hear the sizzling sound, but without burning your aromatics, okay? Otherwise, you will change the flavor. They're gonna taste burned. So watch your stove temperature. Everyone's stove is a little bit different. So as long as you are not burning them, you can still hear the sizzling sound. That means you are doing it right. Just season with a little tap of sea salt to bring out this beautiful aroma. So we're gonna just keep stirring this, just constantly doing this, otherwise you might burn them, for about a minute or a minute and a half. So you can smell this beautiful aroma coming out of the garlic and the fresh ginger and also our scallion. I'm going to add about 6 cups of beef broth. So now after I add 6 cups of beef broth, and I'm going to season my broth, we're going to add about 1 tablespoon of coconut aminos, 2 teaspoons of fish sauce, and also 2 teaspoons of organic rice vinegar. And of course our chopped tomato, 1 medium chopped tomato, and I slice them to wedges. Just gonna add them in, and you're going to bring everything to a boil. I'm gonna cover them with a lid. Bring everything to a boil, and after it's boiled, and then turn the heat down and let it shimmer for 5 minutes. Now after I've shimmered the beef broth for about 5 minutes, ooh, you can see from my side camera here, it's gorgeous tomato broth. And I'm going to bring the broth boil again before adding to our pre-marinated beef. Remember that? By the way, if you're curious about how to make eating paleo fit into your life more easily, I have an online 4-part multimedia course that is called I Heart Umami Paleo Cooking School that will help you make eating paleo fit into your life more easily. In the course, I'm not just sharing with you another new recipe, how to make another new recipe, because you can always find free information online. Instead, I share a simple system with all my students to help them put together a quick, delicious, and nutritious meal in all under 30 minutes. So when time is short and you just want to enjoy a good homemade meal, my course will help you achieve that. So if you're curious to learn more about my I Heart Umami Paleo Cooking School, just please visit iheartumami.com. I will put a link right here and also down below, and enter your first name and your email address. I will send you more information about it. Okay, so now the beef stock is bring to a boil. We are going to add in the broth. By the way, before you add in the broth, before you add in the beef, if you're adding just taste the broth. It tastes good, but you know what? You're gonna feel like it's more two-dimensional, instead of three-dimensional, full of a bunch of flavors. That's because why? Because we haven't added the beef, okay? So don't worry about it. We are going to add in the beef now. And since we slice the beef paper thin, remember? So it will take us about only 1 minute to get the beef cooked through. See, just separate them a little bit, make sure they're not stick with each other, so you cook them more evenly. So now they are about cooked through. You don't want to overcook them. Turn off the heat. And remember our lemon and lime zest. This is the time to add in them, okay? We're going to add about 1/4 to half lime juice. Since I've made this soup quite a few times already, I know my personal preference is about half lime juice, but you should absolutely taste them before and then make your decision, okay? It's a very, very quick way to enjoy a bowl of light but hearty, nutritious, and delicious tomato beef soup when the weather is getting colder, and it just makes you feel so comforting. Okay, now I'm going to just give a stir and make sure the aroma distributed evenly. And it's not ready yet. We have a little final touch, okay? But I just can't wait. I have to taste it first. Amazing. All right, I'll be right back and show you the final touch to make it perfect. All right, time to eat. I'm going to ladle the soup over. Some broth mixed with a lot of aroma with our lime zest, lemon zest, and our garlic and the scallion. Just a lot of beautiful aroma here. And then with a little bit beef. It's just such comforting soup, when the weather is getting colder and you just want something that's comforting, just give you this really warm feeling once you're home from work, right? To finish the soup, remember the green part of our scallion. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit over. I love green scallion. And fresh cilantro. Look how pretty they are. Yeah, you probably can see it from my side camera here. Now I'm going to taste them. It's always the best time. I get the first dip. Okay, take a little beef, thin sliced beef, and a little bit broth. Maybe a little scallion and a little bit cilantro. Going to taste them. The savory and soft and juicy beef, because we didn't overcook them. We cooked them only briefly. That's the reason we sliced them very thin. And also from this slightly citrusy and also sweet tomato mixed with our very, very aromatic broth. It's a very clean broth, but it's full of flavor. Wow. I really love this. It really reminds me of Vietnamese pho, but just in a much simpler and quicker way to put together. I hope you will try this delicious beef tomato soup at home. And I want to thank you again for spending time here with me. I truly appreciate it. To download today's recipe and also to learn more about my I Heart Umami Paleo Cooking School, please visit iheartumami.com. I will put a link right here and down below. Thanks so much again. I will see you here next Thursday. Ciao. Bye.